What's going on? Welcome back to Crappie Man Jigs. I'm Steven Turner. So in today's video is going to be another no edit, full of just tips, I guess. But what we're doing today, I'm going to rig up a brand new rod for the springtime. Now you can use these tips to rig up a rod for any time of the year, but this is just what this rod is for. Because I seem to buy different lengths of rods, different reels, different size line and stuff to do one thing, or some rods do multiple things. If you take a 7-foot rod, you can cast with it, you can jig with it, you can shoot docks with it and all that. So today we're going to be rigging up a GS08M, which is a 2-piece 8-foot ACC crappie stick rod. So stick around, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're on the way to 50K, so let's do this. Like I said, no edit, no nothing. If I mess up, I mess up. So with ACC, all of them come with a rod sleeve when you first initially buy your rod. They package them very, very well. Sometimes the mail person likes to break your rods, but I mean, ACC's got good customer service, so you're all right on that part. But if you wanted a good light rod that if you like to fish all day long and you've got fatigue at the end of the day, your arm hurts or whatever, ACCs are phenomenal casting rods and phenomenal live scope rods. So this rod is, like I said, an 8-foot 2-piece rod. Now, the entire reason that I purchased this rod right here is for slip corks. I wanted an 8-foot rod that I could dip slip corks in for the spring and to cast slip corks in the summertime when these fish get on the brush piles. It's about the only time I use live minnows. Now, in the spring, obviously I'm going to be jigging, popping a cork with a jig. But in the summertime, a slip cork with a minnow, that'll get them. So, like I said, this is a 2-piece rod. These are beautiful rods, super light. If you check out the tip on this, it's going to be perfect for slip cork. Slip cork, you want about this much of a fast action tip, so you can hit that cork, as far as you want out, or as little as you want out. So if you come down to blank, if you ever want to check a blank, when it starts getting tough, like right there, it's tough to bend. But if you go up in this tip, it's real easy to bend. So you've got probably 12 inches of the what I call the flick at the end of the rod. So we're going to take this. We got to cut this Green Series tag off. I can find my scissors here. Like I said, this is a no cut. We're going to do everything step by step. This should be probably 10 to 15 minute video, just because I like to talk. But there are like 600, 700 videos on the channel teaching you exactly how to catch fish. So after this video, go check those out. So like I said, this is a 2-piece 8-foot rod. And what we're going to pair this up with, if I can remember what I did with it, hang on. Right here is a Fluger Triton GX. Now this is an older reel, but hands down, if you have a Walmart near you, the Fluger Presidents that they sell, they're kind of pricey. They're about 60 bucks. They're an awesome, awesome reel. Now, I do love Flugers. I really do, but if you want a cheaper alternative, the Viper X 400 reel, or even the Viper X, I think 1000. The 1000 will work, but that's kind of more like a bass fishing rod in my opinion. But the Viper X 400, amazing. That's what I use on my casting rods, and it's like 30 bucks. You can also get the Shimano reel at Walmart. It's around 25 to 30 bucks. Just any reel that has a good drag system, and when you wind it, it winds smooth. Like there's no bumps in it. Because a lot of that plays a part in your sensitivity through your rod blank, and especially when you have a 2-piece rod, you lose just a little bit of sensitivity, but you also gain probably another foot or more depending on how long your rod is, because probably after about 7.5 feet you start getting 2-piece rods. So with these longer rods, like, I mean, 8 foot ain't too long, but the shop ain't too tall either. We're actually not going to put the tip on it so to get the line on the reel. Just I mean, if I was outside I could do that, But first things first, we got to seat our reel. And that's just as simple as most rods have this crank system. And you just come down with it. And you just stick your reel in there. You got to make sure you have enough room. So let's go. So you stick your reel in it. And then you just want to crank all the way up. And it comes onto your reel handle like that. Now you tighten it up. And yes, I'm going to remove all the plastic and everything, but we'll do that later. So you tighten it up, and now we've got our reel on here. We're still only using half a seat, and this reel actually has the rubber. That feels actually very nice. So the line that you use, it also depends on what you want to do with the reel. Fluorocarbon's a great option, but fluorocarbon is expensive, and in my opinion, crappie fishing, you know, they feed up, so you can get away with braid, you can get away with mono, you can get away with fluorocarbon. It kind of just depends on what you want to do. Now, ACC came out with this copolymer line a couple months ago, and I have absolutely fallen in love with this. It is dual flex copolymer fishing line, low memory, long cast, and high strength. Now this is the high vis. I love high vis line for crappie fishing. If the wind's blowing, you can actually see your line jump if you get a bite. That'll put more fish in your boat. But honestly, it all just depends on what you want. Now, the thing I do like about this line is if you turn your sensitivity up on your live scope or forward facing sonar, you can actually see this line, which helps if you're using smaller baits. So we're going to take it out the package. This is a 6-pound test. 6-pound test, dual flex copolymer fishing line. And copolymer basically means this is fluorocarbon and mono mixed together, which makes it have little to no memory, even if we spin some of this off. I mean, this line's been sitting on the wall for a month or so. And look, just barely any memory in this line. I do highly suggest this line, honestly. ACC makes a very, very good line. Well, they make good products in general. So first all we're going to do, we're going to punch a hole through here, just so the line can freely spool. You probably want to find something for that. I just happen to wear Crocs, so I'm going to put this in my shoe, just so you know. You hear that, Alan and Mark P? I got the line in my shoe. All right, so now you got to take your rod, and we're going to spin a little bit of this line out. And we're going to come through our eyelids. There's 2 of them on this 2-piece. So we're going to come straight through our eyelids. Just like that. So now we've got both of them, and then we get to the reel. Now, with a spinning reel, you want to flip the bell up, because if not, you're not going to be able, if you tie your line there, when it spins around, it's not going to catch the line. So you got to flip your bell up. This is an older reel, so I'm surprised it's not giving me any trouble. And what I like to do is just do 3 overhand knots. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I'm literally going to put the line around here, just like this, and I'm going to do 3 overhand knots. I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like. I don't have my tripod, or I would have a better place to do this. But yeah, so I'm going to put it around. I'm going to do 3 overhand knots. I know you can't see it, but 1, 2, 3. Now, in my opinion, this part, you can do whatever knot you want, because if you got a fish that's going to spool you, then that's either poor line judgment, or you're probably not going to land that fish to begin with. So right here we've got just 3 overhand knots, and now we're going to take and cut our tag in with a pair of scissors as close as you can to that knot. And no, you can't tie a Palomar. Well, I guess you could tie a Palomar knot, but you know. So we're going to cut that close to the tag end. And now you flip your bell over and you make sure it's lined up with this part. This part right here is what grabs your line. So now you got to fix it down here. The line is wrapped up on this screwdriver that I had. All right, let's try this again. So now you want to keep tension on your rod. Somebody's calling me. Like I said, no edits, no edits. You want to keep tension on your line tight, or taut, some people say. And you just want to start reeling. We tighten that drag up a little bit. And you want to keep it snug. You know, the tighter this line goes on there, the better it is when it's first going on. And then once you start to get a good spread of line, you can kind of loosen it up. What I like to do sometimes is grab the line right here and just wind backwards. You may look dumb, but it works. So now we're just going to keep feeding the line to either A, you get the whole roll on there, or B, it fills up. Now, you want to check on your rod to see what size lines can actually fit, well, on your reel, not your rod, that actually fit on here good. Because some of them you can't put like 10 to 15 pound test and it work right. Okay, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, man, you're doing something wrong, but by all means drop a comment down below. I would love to hear what I'm doing wrong. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I'm just going to keep winding. And then you want to keep check on how much line is under this metal part, because if that gets too full, you'll end up having a lot of wind knots. Now I do enjoy a little less line than a lot of people, so I'm definitely not putting this entire roll on here. I mean, honestly, that's probably good right there. And now I'll try to show you a close-up. You see how this line is starting to protrude just a hair above this wall right here. So I may actually take 20 feet off of there, to be honest with you. Because I like to have it just below that lip right here. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Perfect. So now we have an 8-foot rod, so I'm going to bring out, I don't know, about 10 foot, I guess. And then we'll cut it. And right now we are done with the spool of line. This little bit of line you can either toss or you can keep to make leaders. I'm not a big leader fisherman, but I do use leaders occasionally. So now that we've got the reel loaded up with line, we are going to take and thread this line, if I can get to the end of it. We're going to thread this through our other piece on our 2-piece rod, just like this. Make sure you hit every eyelid going in. That is one of the worst things in the world, is to get your whole setup rigged up, and then you miss an eye and you have to retie everything. Alright, so we've got it through this part. Now what I'm actually going to do is just finish rigging up this rod, and then we'll put everything together. So as far as the slip cork setup, I get the cheapest ones you can get at Walmart. This doesn't have to be an expensive setup. Old cheapos right here. These are just cigar slip bobbers. I think Pearl Slip Stick. FLT Assist or something. So with a slip cork setup, you can use the tie ones, but I like these little rubber ones. You can get like 10,000 of these on Temu for a couple bucks. But you're going to come in here, go through the hole on it, just pull one of those rubber pieces off. So then you have a rubber piece on your line. Now we'll move that up probably 2-3 feet. And then we're going to take one of these slip corks. Here, I'm going to grab the red one, because why not? Then we're going to go straight through here. Now you could use a bead, but I don't even think these came with a bead. If they have the bead, the time to put it on it is before the cork. So you got your line coming through the cork, and then if we let it down, that bobber stop is going to stop it from going wherever, and then when you wind it up, it'll come back down to where all your other stuff is. So now I'm actually going to put a 132 cylinder weight on here. Any kind of weight, split shot is fine. So we'll thread that on there. So right now we've got a bobber stopper, slip cork, and a 132 cylinder weight. And now I'm actually going to put another bobber stopper. Now this is just how I like to do it. There's simpler ways, guys. You don't need the cylinder weight. You can put a split shot on it, tie a hook, and be ready to go. So I'm going to put another bobber stop. And that way my cylinder weight doesn't really get close to my jig. So that can go down there. You've got your bobber right there on top of that weight. And then you just got to tie them whatever jig you like to use. This is a chartreuse pepper. I sell it at crappiemanjigs.com. I'm just going to do a loop knot, which I have 3 or 4 videos on if you want to check that out. It's basically a surgeon knot. I'll come through here 3 times, 2, 3. We're going to grab that line, pull it, pop it off right here. Then we're going to tighten it up, cut our tag in. There you go. That is a slip bobber setup. So now all we have to do is put our rod together. So what you can do is grab your jig and you can put it on one of the eyelids on the tip of the rod, and you're just going to set this right here. Now take your bottom rod, make sure your line is tight, tighten that drag up. Now we'll just bring everything together. Hung on my crock. So we'll bring everything together just like this. Make sure the line's not wrapped around the tip, and we're going to put our rod together just like that, and then we'll back up so you can see everything. There we go. We can wind everything up. We've got a jig, a bobber stop, weight, slip cork, bobber stop, 8-foot ACC crappie stick. You can find these at accrappiesticks.com with a Fluger reel with 6-pound tests. And we're ready to go fish the crappie spawn. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you stuck around this long, let me know down in the comments below. I've got plenty of content on the channel, so make sure you subscribe. Smash that thumbs up button to let me know you like the video. And I'll catch you on the next one. Stay slabby.